This morning, I have the pleasure of speaking with Simon Thibault, the president of Scandium Canada. And good morning, Simon.
Good morning, Jack.
There have been some dramatic organization changes in Scandium Canada in the very near term. Can you give us a brief resume of that?
Absolutely, yes. As you know, Guy Bourassa was the former CEO of Scandium Canada, has been doing an amazing job in the past years at building those very strong foundations that we have with Scandium Canada, executing the acquisition of Ferreal Technologies, leading to Scalium Plus. But yes, the company now is kind of moving to a different speed, and I'm very much looking forward to talk about that with you. And they needed a different set of skills, which brings me to this place as the new president and CEO, and also president of Scalium Plus. Yeah.
Can you tell us about Scalium, the other word that's appearing on the screen? This is news for us, and I think you have a very interesting story.
Absolutely, yes. This is, to me, the main differentiator of this company. Scandium Canada in itself is a company that has, yes, a mining project, the Crater Lake project, but what really differentiates us from the others is the fact that we have a business, Scalium Plus, as you very well said, that's totally different. That's somehow new. It's been there for a while, but it was under the name of Ferreal Technology. And essentially, it's a company that owns alloys, and that is also having customers and clients producing aluminum scandium alloys on the market right now. So to me, that's a big difference, and this is what Scalium Plus is all about. Yes.
In my opinion, you are the most advanced scallium and scandium company in the Western world. And I congratulate you because I think you're doing exactly the right thing. You are actually in business as a manufacturer and seller of scandium-based goods. And at the moment, you are also developing a mine.
Absolutely, yes. And my experience in this industry, especially in the automotive industry on supply chain, has been that there's not a single company, single OEM customer in the world that wants just the supply chain. You need to be able to be out there on the market with a product. And our strategy, our business strategy is to start from the product, not start from a mine and try to push a mine on a market, but actually start from the market with a product and create a pull on the mine, where the mine actually becomes a solution to our problem because you're too good with your products. That's what this business is all about. It's about being too good with products, aluminum, scandium alloys, and then in the mid to long term, having the need for a mine. So it's a different approach from what a lot of players are taking in this industry.
In my opinion, it's the exact correct approach. And again, I congratulate you. Can you tell us something about your own background in the manufacturing industry?
Yes. So prior to this joining Scandium Canada, I was with General Motors. So I was EV critical materials leader, where I was in charge of building, supporting the whole team and building the supply chain, a resilient supply chain outside of mainly, of course, outside from, let's say, what we call country Ds. So essentially locations where you have geopolitics that's playing a big role in there. So we wanted to move away and build safer, viable, sustainable, and resilient supply chains. So my focus really been about sourcing all of the critical materials that go into an EV. And then in the last months, also having a big focus on energy storage. But the point, my whole theme was about how can we source minerals, essentially making sure that we have products that are on specs. That's kind of the first rule. You want to have a product that fits a demand, a need. So you got to be on the spec. Then the second thing is that it's one thing to have a spec, but you got to have an insertion pad. So that's the second rule, in my opinion, where not only your product needs to be compliant with the need, but you cannot have like 3-4 stages of refining or processing before your product actually goes into a real thing. And then the third thing, whatever people say, you got to be cost competitive. You cannot go out there with a product that needs a premium to be sustainable or viable. So you got to go to the market at the right price and be cost competitive globally. And I think that's what we're trying to do, not trying to do, that's what we're doing at Scandium Canada right now. We have the products, they meet specs, we have a clear insertion path, and we're cost competitive because we provide benefits from a performance standpoint or strictly from a cost standpoint. So to me, that's the biggest learnings from my experience is those three fundamental rules that I've learned at GM and in past experience. Scandium Canada ticks them all.
I'm quite impressed because I think you represent, in my view, a new category in the critical mineral space, which is you are a real company. Your focus is obviously on the customer, and quite frankly, as good as your project may be at Crater Lake, you're obviously open to sourcing scandium wherever you have to source it for your customers. And it's I'm usually able to speak 20 or 30 minutes without taking a breath. I am absolutely speechless here, Simon. I have to now put you in a new category, and for the moment, I'm calling it you're a real company.
I agree. I cannot agree more, honestly. I mean, first, what you just said about it, we're focused on the customer. I can't understand how we could not. I mean, this whole business is about market and is about customers. That's where I come from. So my experience is about, I'm sure you know about this, when you work with an OEM, you get approached by so many companies that come to you and offer you something that either requires a premium to be viable, either requires you as the OEM to build the insertion path for that product to go into your products. Like, seriously, if I was to step in this position and be as the CEO of Scandium Canada, now having to do all of that, no way. Like, to me, that was just impossible. So that's why with Guy, I was very happy that the vision he was having was aligned with mine, which was, okay, we need to stop be sitting in an open pit, on a mechanical shovel and trying to think about blasting and drilling. We need to be thinking about products, alloys, advanced manufacturing. And that's what we need to be thinking about. And then the mine will come. And then you're right. In the short term, let's be honest. I mean, everybody knows Crater Lake is not going to be opening next year. So we need years to develop the project. So we need to stay focused. We need to continue developing the project so it's ready when we need it. But meanwhile, in the short to midterm, you're absolutely right. If I need scandium oxide, there are sources of scandium oxide on the market right now. There are sources of master alloy on the market right now. So we can tap on this in the short to midterm. And when we'll be so successful with our sales, then we'll need the mine because what's existing won't be enough.
Well, you're in a category which only contains your company at this point in
Agree.
this space.
Yeah.
And I am unusually for me, I'm speechless. I need to think about this, and I'm going to want to talk to you on a regular basis because I
Please.
want to follow what's happening. I think that your particular background is ideal because you have been in major industrial, a major industrial company in North America, and you know how they think, and you've told us exactly how they think and how all of them think, okay? And that I don't know of any other CEO I have met in Canada that has your particular background and even better, your understanding of what markets really are and how you make and sell things. So again, congratulations. We're keep in touch and thank you very much for this introduction. I have to think about this. We have to talk again soon when I've got something intelligent to say. Thank you.
Absolutely. It'll be a real pleasure to stay in touch as always. Thanks.